There are a few things that are better than a full day of adventuring where you end up doing a hike back in the dark. Things that make me so happy I could, well, you know. So we left Antelope Canyon and we decided to stop over at a gas station. Not for gas though, a completely different reason, a photographic reason. There's a cool spot back there with this big arch that's kind of carved into the rock, but it seems like everybody and their mother knows about this place at this point. So we weren't alone over there. Still cool to see. I ended up taking a couple of different photos while I was back there. I wasn't too happy with either of them, of course, because I had to paint people out of the image. The final result's fine, but like I'm kind of left wishing for something different just because I had to paint all the people out. But still, there's some nice people over there. There's a young girl that like took a photo of my dad and I, so that was pretty cool. Food?
Yeah.
Food. We got back to the Airbnb and now we had to figure out what we were gonna do for the rest of the afternoon. There was so much that I wanted to see, but only so much time to do it. What I had in mind is like a final destination were these hoodoos where I'd want to take photos around sunset. And we'd end up doing a long drive to get there of this big loop that goes around the entirety of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. Not a small drive, it would end up being 130 miles, but I had a feeling there'd be tons of beautiful sights along the way, and there were plenty. It was amazing. I called over to the Park Service just to make sure that we could execute my plan, because I wasn't quite sure what the road conditions were like. Looked around a little bit and did the math, and I was like, if we're gonna action this plan, we need to go right now. So, dog in tow, we loaded up the car and started making our way around this massive drive. Canyon's beautiful and immense, and we had all these incredibly long stretches of roadway just stretching out into the desert with the Vermilion Cliffs off on the horizon. Completely stunning. So we just came up to the Navajo Bridge, but there's this massive rock that's way off in the distance that I'd like to get some photos of. I'm kind of doing a 2-camera action right now. I have the 5D Mark IV on me with 16-35, and the 70-70D with the 50mm lens on. So we'll walk up across the bridge here and check it out and see what we capture. Oh boy, this is incredible. One of the first places we stopped at was this spot called Navajo Bridge. So at the bridge, you're at 470 feet roughly above the water, which is huge. And you have like this incredible green color to the water looking down. The water's really clear down there too. Like there's this nice little sandy beach looking spot. And you can see these waves of the sand continuing out as well. So somebody was actually just nice enough to point out to me that there's a number of California condors that are hanging out down here. Huge wingspan, it's like 10 feet wide, and they look gigantic even from this height way down there. Really cool seeing that one that was just flying by but a moment ago. I'm gonna need to keep going. We only have so much time to end up making it along a dirt road, so dog's in the car, it's 93 degrees, it's time to move. Continuing on from the bridge, there was another spot that I really wanted to get a photo of that I was looking at, frankly, from the bridge. This rock that looks like a cathedral, and it's called Cathedral Rock. Now this is fantastic. This butte is huge. So this is the turnoff for Lee's Ferry entering the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. We're gonna have to turn around here and keep going the way we were going. But wow, what a fantastic feature. Oh man, do I love this one. Just this beautiful expanse of road stretching out with this absolute monument sticking up above the road. I think the colors look nice itself, but converting it over to a black and white, it is one really dramatic looking scene. Definitely an image that I'm more happy with. Wow. Beautiful rock, beautiful scene, beautiful road. Fantastic butte. I love coming out to the desert. Given the time of day, I knew that we were going to be battling a little bit of daylight because we had to do this stretch of off-roading road. And my mother, I'm traveling with my parents on this trip, was like, why don't we go just another few miles up over to Lee's Ferry just to see it?
Lee's Ferry is only 2.8
And it was like one of those moments of you do the math in your head and it'd be just 15 minutes to get there and then 15 minutes to get back. But then you'd want to spend time over there looking at things. So then you need to add another 15 to 20 minutes to the clock. It was going to be a 45-minute detour roughly. And we had only so many more hours until that sun was set. And I really wanted to see those hoodoos. So we kept going on around the canyon. As you're driving on this road, looking over to the left-hand side, you have this just huge, massive expanse of plateau before it reaches the Grand Canyon, which is way off in the distance. So you can't see it, but there's like a shelf where the earth just drops beneath your feet. And then looking to the right, you have the massive cliffs of the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. Eventually, we came over to the spot that's called the Cliff Dwellers Stone House, which was really interesting because it looked like something that was like ancient, almost, the architecture. You have this massive boulder and then all of these smaller rocks that are just kind of stuffed, basically forming a really rudimentary looking structure. But this was actually from people that were more modern than I would have ever imagined. Some people ended up having their car break down as they were traveling at this particular spot, spent the night, and then decided, this is a great spot. Why don't we just set up camp here and we'll open up a restaurant. So that was what they did. Home sweet home. They basically opened up a service spot on the side of this desert highway in this shack. I can't imagine what it would have been like or it was actually in operation looking at it then, but it was interesting to stop and look at. I kind of wish I'd walked around there a little bit more. It looked like there were some other really cool rocks a little bit further down as we drove past them leaving. But there was somebody who was like sitting there selling a bunch of stuff and I felt kind of awkward walking around. But still, I was able to get some nice photos of the cliffs way off in the distance with the 50mm at least, I think. Continuing on, we eventually reached the dirt road that was going to be separating us from the one highway and the other set of paved road. This is going to be like 30 miles of no paved road whatsoever. So we went ahead and let a little bit of air out of the tires, just not really knowing what kind of conditions were waiting for us. The road conditions were actually pretty fantastic. We saw a lot of other people touring around. It seemed like everybody had a four-wheel drive vehicle, but still, incredible stretch of road. The topography through here is really interesting just because there's a lot geologically going on. From a satellite image, it's really apparent that this is a unique space. Eventually, you end up crossing from Arizona over into Utah, and around this spot, there's a lot of really interesting features as well. This is very close to where the wave is, which I'm sure you've seen about online. We tried getting passes to go and hike it through the lottery system, but unfortunately, we're not successful over this trip. This stretch of roadway was cool just because you're in the middle of nowhere, but then there's tons of free-range cattle hanging around, so you'd be going in between all of these mountains and beautiful scenery, and then cows just hanging out doing their thing. We finally were nearing the paved section. We came up behind a couple of other vehicles that were making their way up the dirt road as well. My dad did something that I would honestly consider as atypical of him. I think he could sense I was getting a little bit antsy about the sun getting low, and he passed the other two cars that were like just in front of us, and we zoomed along, got to the highway, and instead of putting more air in the tires, decided to continue the 10 or so miles over to where the hoodoos were so we could end up doing the shoot. Once we got there, it was time to do a few things. Put a little bit of air back in the tires, use the restroom, and then feed the dog. Light's getting low, shadows are getting long. We just pulled over to our final destination while we were trying to sprint and didn't go to Lee's Ferry. I only had so much time to work, so it was one of those situations of you go on ahead, we'll catch up. So I took off hiking into this canyon, looking to get photos of these hoodoos. For all my planning, I'm quite good at finding myself in a position where I'm rushed. We're getting some really nice light along those towers just ahead here. There's gonna be a photo around this corner once I get past these telephone wires. Looks like I made the right choice following some footsteps instead of the wash. I am very short on daylight. I think I can see the hoodoos a little further up here. This may end up being a blue hour shoot yet. Wow. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Be one of the coolest geologic things I've seen. There's a few of them peppered throughout here. Sun pretty much down. Christine pretty much out of breath. All right, tripod in hand. Making our way over this other grouping here. It's bizarre, this land. Over here, this is just way smoother across this rock than the entire wash coming up. It's very peculiar and interesting. Well, I do need to hike back. I've got some folks waiting for me and ready for dinner. Probably a dog just fed. Some tires reinflated. Wow. Since those clouds are glowing, I think I need to get just one more shot over there.
I thought I would be the only one in our group to experience these views, but then on the way back, I had a pleasant surprise.
I didn't expect to see you.
Well, go out and get the tires taken care of. Should I go see it?
Thankfully, we all got to see and marvel at the hoodoos. The dog appreciated some new smells, and I grabbed some final images for the evening of the otherworldly scenery. We hiked back together in the late twilight. The dog acted, well, like a dog. And that was the end of our very fulfilling day. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye for now.